Guys, so we're here to go ahead and actually try out and play Diablo 3 Vanilla, aka Classic, without the expansion pack. I had to actually hop onto a separate account because you actually can't just go ahead and reselect it. I'm not actually sure what is not going to be available via some updates, because they have actually had a lot of updates that won't actually apply through the vanilla one because the items just simply don't exist. So as you guys can see over here, we won't have access to, of course, the Crusader or the Necromancer because that's part of the DLC. But I wanted to try to go ahead and check out Diablo Vanilla or Classic in 2020 to see if the game is any better, because, you know, while Classic came out, everyone loved it. I wanted to go back and check out the game in its earlier state to see if it's any better or if it's just simply worse. I'm just going to go ahead and, for the sake of selecting seasonal here, just for that seasonal buff, let's go ahead and hop right into it. But there's a lot of things I know that aren't going to be active. There's going to be no greater rifts. There's going to be no Kanai's cube. The leaderboards are going to be completely like messed up because it just won't exist. I can't actually do challenge rifts. There's no adventure mode. There's going to be a lot of things that are just completely locked out of playing because it just doesn't exist, right? And that might be a good thing. I'm wondering how the itemization works, and there's going to be a lot of stuff to check out. So I'm actually kind of curious to see how long this will actually last in terms of how far we actually can progress in the game, because while I want to go ahead and try to hit the higher torment difficulty, it might not be possible without Kanai's cube. Like, there are so many builds that won't work, and I'm wondering if there's going to be any items in like Diablo Classic that just won't be here. For the sake of the playthrough, to make it a little bit more entertaining, I'm just going to go ahead and play it on hard. Otherwise, we won't die at all. And we actually have to go through the campaign. However, I will be skipping out on all of the cutscenes just as a heads up, because I'm sure a lot of you guys just want to go ahead and see the gameplay content. So yeah, we'll skip on all the cutscenes, and then because this is like a fresh account over here, I'm going to have to go to the keybinds, and then for the force move. Oh, did I actually already apply this? Or does it apply it to your account? But yeah, I'm actually more so curious to know how the game is played in the vanilla form. And if you guys have played back in the day when Inferno was still a difficulty, did you guys actually complete it on Inferno? Because for the longest time, it was very difficult to actually complete the game on non-Inferno. Oh, I'm sorry, on Inferno, because it was just simply too hard to farm. A lot of people wouldn't go past like maybe Act 2 or 3 because everything one-shotted you. It's just how it was for a long time, unless you had some of the best gear. But yeah, I plan to do like a full playthrough of like Diablo Vanilla, and we'll see how it goes. But I'm actually more curious to know like what the end game is like. So if you are new here and you do want to check out the end game of Diablo Vanilla, hit subscribe, turn on that bell, and you'll see it eventually. It shouldn't take me too long to go ahead and go through the entire campaign. It only takes maybe a few hours. But I'm playing on hard so we can actually get better drops, but it's almost just as fast. And I say almost because technically some of the bosses might take a little bit longer, but for the most part, if you are relatively familiar with Diablo, you can actually play on a harder difficulty and be totally fine in terms of speed. It just really comes down to being able to get maybe a key legendary piece early on just for stat stick, and also, oh wait, we won't even have the Templar. We actually have to go through to actually obtain the Templar. But so far, I'm pretty sure this is going to be the same experience, at least in the progression of like the campaign. But there might be some items that we will be acquiring here. So I'll probably segment this into maybe 4 segments, maybe like every single act, because there also will be no Act 5. But I'm curious to know if they actually made a Diablo Classic. I guess there's kind of really no point because it would just be like downgrading. But at the same time, there are a lot of patches that did go through that kind of changed up the game. And again, some of the patches won't be able to be applied because the items simply don't exist. There's no GRs. Like, what is the end game? I honestly don't know what the end game is going to be. I'm going. I think isn't there like a chest sometimes in this the MUSTY slot? Remember for a while, in fact, the optimal way to actually get items was to literally open up chests in the game. Did we get like an upgrade? Oh, okay, we just got... and since it's a fresh account, because you can't just go on your normal account and then just opt to play Diablo Vanilla, because you'll eventually just level up, and there's probably a lot of things that we'll figure out.
Not enough hatred.
But I actually, in some senses, I like the auction house because you were able to obviously get gold as you progress in the game. You'd always accumulate more and more gold, right? But there eventually comes to a point where you just simply feel like you're not progressing, and it's because you don't have like the primals. It's just, it requires a lot of RNG, where when you played vanilla, back when the auction house existed, you still had the opportunity to just keep on playing, and you would always feel a sense of progression that wasn't Paragon points. You had something, I guess, kind of in one sense more meaningful to grind towards, because, you know, while an item costed a lot of gold, you were always working your way towards it. Now, I actually played a little bit of the auction house. In fact, once you got good enough gear in the game, a lot of people still didn't even farm. They would just play the auction house. A lot of people use scripts to actually flip items, but a lot of people complained that pretty much the game was played by just the auction house in general. I think the Wretched Queen will be over there, and we'll probably get some like XP for completing it. But I liked Diablo Vanilla, or Diablo Classic. I'm not sure what I'm going to call this video. Diablo Vanilla Classic. But I'm wondering if we still have that legendary boost. I don't know if that applied. I want to say that it still applied, but I'm not 100% sure. And I don't think you can do the Darkening of Tristram. While that does increase our damage by a lot, we won't be able to use Hungering Arrow. We won't be able to swap off until we get bolas, I believe. I believe bolas you can fire without, or maybe grenades. Does it say like requires bow? Requires bow, requires bow. Okay. So this doesn't require a bow. Alright, that's awesome. And let's go ahead and go to the Dark Cellar. I remember my first legendary I got in Vanilla or Classic was the Andariel's Visage. And early on, these items, legendaries, were super, 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 super hard to come by. I mean, you would farm for maybe even days and not get one legendary. That's how like rare they were in Diablo 3 when it first came out. And I'm not sure if it's going to be that rare, but I'm also wondering, and I'm pretty sure though, that it will be account bound. In fact,
my hatred is too low.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to check that out as well. Does this actually do damage? Because if it just slows them down, oh, it slows them down. I won't mess around with that. Let's go and leave those. Extra recovery. But yeah, I don't think they could actually like sell a Diablo 3 Classic. But I mean, who knows? I mean, Diablo 3 is still like one of the top selling games of all time. Like I was actually quite surprised. Actually, after this, maybe we'll go check out the list. Like I believe it was like, depending on if you count like just PC or console, it was like 6th in one of the categories and then 13th, I think, overall. Like, if someone, since we are also live streaming, if someone wants to like go to the wiki and type in best-selling games of all time, but I'm pretty sure it counts vanilla, expansion, and it counts on console as well. Like it counts all of them, obviously. And I think a lot of people bought Diablo multiple times. I bought Diablo multiple times as well. In fact, Diablo 2 back in the day, you needed multiple accounts to mule properly without like risking the game. Because you could make a game and then you would what's called perm the game by staying in it for, I think it was 5 minutes. And then you would leave the game and then it would stay open with the item just in town on the ground. But sometimes you get unlucky with the RNG. But after playing a lot of like the Diablo Anniversary event, and if you guys haven't seen it, it's only available for the next week. I highly recommend you guys to play the Anniversary event. You have to have the expansion pack just as a heads up to actually do it. But I actually really enjoyed the leveling up experience of playing, because I was going to originally try to do speedruns. Oops, we got to talk to Leah. And I enjoyed the leveling experience and like the pace of the game while leveling and getting, you know, an item that would have a huge DPS increase versus just getting like a 2% damage increase after farming all day. The pace at which Diablo, even Path of Exile is played, once you are maxed out, like it's just, you clear content super fast. And I kind of enjoyed like the slower pace, making it so the enemies, you know, you could actually be, I guess, kind of worried that you would actually rip over a course of time, versus like in PoE, well, PoE mostly just pop instantly. In Diablo, it's either you don't have the numbers to go through the Greater Rift, or you do. Let's go ahead and go into the Cathedral. This is actually kind of like the same area as the Darkening of Tristram event.
So this is where the star fell. My quarry must be near.
Go ahead and hit I remember when they made this like a huge deal where it's like you can act with the environment. I feel like the Act 1 might have been the only one where they really like tried to focus in on that, right? Okay, when did we get Bolas, actually? 11? Okay, so that'll be for a little bit longer. But yeah, we'll go through the whole entire campaign. Originally, I was thinking about doing this on a hardcore, which, I mean, it shouldn't be something that we would lose to, but honestly, I don't want to play vanilla for that long, especially if the legendary drop chances are super rare. I think we probably have a rune for a Hungering Arrow as well. We really need an upgrade for our weapon. And we don't even have Town Portal yet. Oh, can we... Okay, there we go. Oh, you know what? I don't have the monster... If I hit escape here. I think it's under gameplay, display... Okay. Let's go do that. This way I can see the HP of the enemies. I normally have this on, but like it's a separate account because I actually had to buy this. It was on sale, I think, for $10. I was like, you know what? That would be a cool video idea. You know, playing Diablo Vanilla in 2020, or Diablo Classic, because most people will say Reaper of Souls was much better, but I've seen some people argue that Diablo Vanilla or Diablo Classic was better, especially back when Inferno existed. Then there's no real way to access the original Inferno mode. I did buy Diablo 3 on console, like just vanilla, so I could maybe check that out as well, maybe at an earlier patch, because with PC, you're going to be on the latest patch. But again, certain patches will not be able to be applied because the item simply doesn't exist in vanilla, right? Power Glove, okay. At least we get that seasonal buff, which is still pretty nice. And I was curious, originally, I think this also pauses it, the leaderboard still will show that it's not vanilla Diablo. So I feel like it's literally impossible to compete with the leaderboards because you'd be at level 60. And some items won't even drop. They're like some items just simply don't exist in the game. Okay, finally we get a DPS increase, 110%. It's gonna be nice to have. Got those exploding chickens. That'll be nice. Here's that mechanic. Oh, it wasn't even there. Right, we'll go ahead and see if we can throw in a rune for a Hungering Arrow and maybe. Actually, I kind of do like Impale. Oh, we don't even get runes until level 6. Okay, never mind. What does it do? 200%? This one does more damage. This is normally where the butcher spawns in. Oh, nice, we have a shrine. It's a fleeting shrine, though. Stuns them all. That's kind of nice. But yeah, that mechanic, I think, it's just simply not used, especially in the later stages of the game. Like, that'd just be a waste of time for the most part, because you're basically curling out all the content super fast. Alright. least we're able to pretty much destroy things really, really fast. Okay, now we've unlocked the runes. I thought the runes just started unlocking as you progress. I didn't know that they actually had to be unlocked. I don't know if this is a vanilla thing or not. But we're going to run that. I think this one has like a higher chance to pierce, yeah. You know, they tried to make Hungering Arrow like a build. There's like a quiver that increases like the chance of it piercing. But a lot of the like normal skills in the game, people really don't even activate. It's usually just a proc, focus, and restraint. And then we'll see if there's another rune for Impale. In fact, Diablo Act 1 is pretty enjoyable. I actually really liked it. I felt like Act 4 was kind of rushed. So we're getting a little upgrade here. Oh, it's still a nice little damage increase. Got Rapid Fire. But I want to keep Impale. It just lets me spend my resource a lot faster. But yeah, I don't know how they would like really implement bringing back like Diablo Classic. Because I feel like most people just would not be interested in like the game in its vanilla state. But I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll see if it's any good. Because I very regularly go back and play Diablo 2, Median XL, just because I love the resolution that they added with it. It's like a little bit better. And it doesn't like break the game, because some resolutions really break the game. You know, this is actually like, it's pretty dark. Because I know like one complaint that the Diablo community had, and like I said, I'll skip all of the cutscenes here, is that Diablo 3 wasn't dark enough. But honestly, after playing like the campaign again, I haven't played it in so long, and I'm sure a lot of you guys probably haven't either. Especially in vanilla mode, because once you upgrade to Reaper of Souls, like, that's it. I mean, the colors are definitely a lot more vibrant. That's for sure.
My hatred is too low.
And if, well, actually, it could still be kind of RNG, but I'm thinking, normally every, what are we at? We're recording about 17 or almost 18 minutes right now. And let me go ahead and go back. It's gonna have a cutscene, we're gonna skip out on it. Is that you should be getting a legendary, I think, like every about half hour in hard difficulty. So we might be coming up with one relatively quick. And when you complete quests, and you would get items, but like that, this doesn't matter anymore. Like there's just so many things that in Diablo's first iteration, even with just doing the campaign, a lot of the items are just. Oh, we have to talk to Hadraig. It's been a while. He's actually down here, and I don't know if the fencers actually existed in vanilla. What do we have for gold? Oh, I just want something that increases damage. That's toughness. Wait, is this Crusader? Wow, that's really weird. Because the Crusader, I don't have the Crusader. They still have the Enchantress. Can you still transmog? Okay, that's really cool. There's just so many things that I'm just really curious about because it's been so long. Okay, so this is the fence. 1,000 for a 1. Well, it gives me that life regen, so you know what? We'll go ahead and take it. What are boots do? Extra movement speed, that will be nice. I believe there should still be Paragon in vanilla Diablo. Yeah, I'm like 99% sure it exists. Like I said, and I'm sure a lot of you guys haven't played it in a long time either. Yeah, I'm guessing there's this whole like session, like each each part, maybe I'll cut it up into like maybe half-hour segments or maybe hour segments. I'm guessing like maybe 4 hours to complete the whole campaign.
Forgive me.
Actually, do these last forever? This is a really cool like little story where like the blacksmith has to destroy his own wife.
I couldn't have done this without you. I'm in your debt. My name is Hedrig
And then we got impact, so that like stuns right, and nice, and knocks back. And then we're gonna go through the northwest gate and go to the Weeping Hollow. But so far, I'm enjoying this. Ooh, a goblin. Okay. Do anything increases damage? Okay. So we'll eliminate all these before we go attempt the goblin. The game is a lot more difficult. I know it's on hard, but like, it feels like it's on expert. I don't know if there's any like balance that would only apply to make it more difficult. It shouldn't have anything. I know they actually reduced the damage the Necromancer takes, and I believe the Crusader also got a buff. Because there's like an internal buff that a lot of people don't know about. Like the Barbarian and the Monk just take 30% less damage, and the Crusader I believe takes 20% less damage. Just for no reason. It's just like a built-in passive that you get. Alright, there we go. And we're coming up to the... Oh, that's going to increase our damage by 7%. That's nice. I heard a goblin. Let's see if we get anything good off this little goblin over here. Where is he? Ooh-wee! Where is he? Oh, I hear him. Which one is it? The treasure. I wonder if there is even, like, the other goblins. Because there was newer goblins applied, but, again, I have no idea. These guys were a lot more difficult before, because now when you hit them... Okay, so that patch has actually gotten through. Where, if you hit them, they, like, kind of get cancelled. But I don't know how many times you can actually do that. I know it's a lot easier now. Let's see if we get something. Oh, we did get a legendary off of it. A helm. Hey, that's nice. Alright, let's see.
I need more hatred to do that.
It's the one where it's going to give us extra stats. I can like double the stats. Oh, you know what? One thing that I wanted to mention in Diablo 3 compared to like D2 when I go back and play it, I really feel Diablo 2's music was just, it was so like perfect. In Diablo 3, which I actually downloaded the OST because I wanted to have it for background on one of my Diablo videos. And while listening to it, there's like only 2 or 3 really good like tracks. While Diablo 2, it felt like the entire soundtrack was really good. But yeah, let's continue on here and go ahead and identify our legendary that we just got. But oh, to answer your question, Bearguard, this is we are playing. It rolled perfect too, 100%. That's awesome. But we're not. Well, technically we are playing on like it's not necessarily a new season. In fact, this season's pretty much winding down. We're playing Vanilla Diablo or Diablo Classic in 2020. Trying to see if the game's any more enjoyable and kind of checking out the game's pace. So far, I mean, it is enjoyable, honestly, without like the super fast playstyle. I'm also hoping Diablo 4 allows. I know that they have that like world raid where there's a lot of players. I mean, I guess 4 players is still like cool. It's better than obviously like no multiplayer, because I feel like I upload a lot of Path of Exile too, but Path of Exile doesn't really support team play. Path of Exile is a very solo-oriented experience for the most part. Like, you don't just go in, do random maps with, like, a stranger, right? Because what if they have, like, a reflect or a map that you can't do? And that is also going to be something that Diablo 4 has, which has map modifiers, just like in Path of Exile. I kind of remember how this goes. So there are multiple shrines, if I remember correct. Oh, is this one a boost? Oh, 1 dexterity. There's one of them that's correct, and you have to go through the right one. Lovely. Waller. Do I actually want to eliminate these? Not really. I want to kind of... I want to progress through the game a little bit fast. But those ones were just super tanky. We need to get a gem, and I don't think gems can really drop that early on. And hopefully we can get a attack speed shrine. Oh, it's a protection shrine. I might as well go ahead and grab it. Oh, we don't even have town portal yet, which we'll be getting relatively soon. I think it's like coming up in the next maybe 10-15 minutes. So we did get a legendary within the half-hour mark. But as you climb higher in the difficulties, you just start getting legendaries super fast. Crossbow, alright, more DPS, alright, nice. And the crossbows usually attack a lot faster too, so that'll be nice. Seasonal buff makes things so much faster. So for when I'm playing, I normally don't like the one that freezes all of them, because for some of the other abilities in the game, it messes things up, like the stomp with wrenching smash, where it brings everyone right next to you. It won't really work because they're frozen.
I have a feeling that the crown is nearby.
And then also, I believe the Skeleton King guarantees a legendary too, right? But I'm pretty sure he always drops the same thing. Whoops. Let's go ahead and eliminate Mangle Maw. Empty equipment slot? What was it talking about? Oh, bracers. There we go. Wonder if smart loot is also something that still works. Oh, someone posted this in general. Oh, that's definitely expansion though. So I guess they don't really separate the players. But I'm pretty sure the expansion players cannot play with vanilla players. Heck, I almost want to make this game public. You know, let's go ahead and do that. I guess we'll just... I wonder if anyone will actually join. That's actually something I'm really curious about. I really doubt it. In regular Diablo, sometimes you can get people, but I don't think... I wonder if you could check the player base. It's probably pretty much zero. Oh, we got another crossbow over here. So let's see if our DPS actually changes. Oops. Sometimes it's better just to have one, but... Oh, now we have town portal.
I am returning to town.
And then we have Vault now, so I can basically drop caltrops for maybe smoke screen or something. So I'm going to go ahead and swap this. I can keep this on right click. I like this on E. Oh, you can't put smoke screen on that. Whatever. No biggie.
You found the crown, huh?
So we didn't get a legendary off that. As much as I want that extra 5% damage, the movement speed is so nice. And I'm not interested in swapping it. Some new gloves, extra damage, more toughness. There used to be a vendor right there. I wonder if we get that guy later. I believe his name's something the Gravedigger. And let's just go ahead and just merch everything. And let's see if... Oh, we don't need to even repair. He still has the same things. I believe at 8 and 9, the fences will carry rings that add damage. So let's go ahead and double check on that. Maybe in vanilla Diablo, they do not. Alright, so what's the next quest, actually? I'll probably have to talk to, like, Leah or something over there. Oh, so to answer your question over there, what's the point in playing vanilla Diablo? Oh, I'm trying to find out. I honestly just want... I just want a new Diablo game to play. Like, I really was ready for Diablo Immortal. But, I don't know when that game's coming out. Like, I feel like if they revealed it, oh, is this my boss over here? If they revealed it at BlizzCon in 2018, I thought for sure it's coming out within the next year. They never said a release date. But I think from all the backlash, they're like, you know what, let's not release the game early. Or let's not, like, because they even had beta registration, right? I believe they had, like, beta registration during the same day as BlizzCon. I mean, I don't see how... They already announced Diablo 4. I don't think people would really be that upset regardless of how the game turns out. In fact, I feel like Diablo Immortal legitimately looks exactly like a Diablo 3 expansion pack. Oh, now we can just spam on our... Oh, we can almost spam on our abilities. I don't know if I want to go in this room. I might lock myself in this room. Which is no good. Let's go and vault past them, because we can ignore a unit collision. I'm almost thinking about putting this game on normal. I swear this game is not that difficult. Like, when I was even going through all of the Darkening and Tristram. Like, I played through it so many dang times, and you know, from level 1. It might be vanilla, just a little bit more difficult. I'm trying to think of what... Like I said, there might have been some patches that went through that just never got applied, because they're like, oh, what's the point? What's the point of updating this part of the game, right? I'm gonna try to eliminate this elite pack. I like how that one broke free. I want to destroy this elite pack. There we go. Is that Wand of Slaughter? Okay. Well, that's not going to do us any good on Demon Hunter. Yo, we'll be coming up with that Templar! And we get to hear what he says. Our first follower. I actually wish they made followers a little bit deeper in Diablo 2. In fact, in a lot of the Diablo fan-made mods, they made like the mercenary like a lot stronger. In Median XL, they had a shape-shifting mercenary. Wait, can you even throw on a pet? Oh, I have the Battlecruiser pet. What is it from StarCraft 20th Anniversary? I don't even have StarCraft. Well, I think everyone gets StarCraft. Because StarCraft is now a free-to-play game. So now I have my Battlecruiser pet. And all the pet does is it picks up gold for me. So I don't really feel like it matters that much. Like, it's not going to change up gameplay at all. And then we got a curse chest? Okay. Or maybe we should delete this elite first. Oh, we got walled off real fast. Okay, I'm gonna eliminate these guys first. Dang, we really need a weapon upgrade here. I think it's because I'm so used to just one-shotting everything on screen. Oh, there we go. A bow, an upgrade? Nope, it's a downgrade. Unlucky. I was like, okay, we're for sure getting a new upgrade now. Alright, these are just normal. Oh no, they're minions. Okay, there we go. 100 enemies. There's like no way. We're just gonna probably have to get the regular chest. 100 enemies? Yeah, that's definitely impossible. Oh, I mean, we'll still try and go for it. I'll have to save one for Vault to like get out if we need to. Kind of with that 50 though, that seasonal buff. Yeah, that's pretty good. I cleared out a lot of the stuff, but there's just no way you can get 100. It's nice for XP. Wow. Thrill of the hunt. Okay. I'll go ahead and slow him down, I guess. Extra discipline. I'd rather keep the life regen. What else do we got coming up? Maybe we got rapid fire, but 685, really? Let's try this. I just like Impale because it's just so fast. Like it just spends all your hatred really quick. But if that's able to deal enough damage, I might just stick with it. Aiming for 45. I mean, oh, there we go. My Templar. Oh, give aid to the warrior.
Who are you?
You will know soon enough. Help me find my gear.
His gear's just over to the right. You know, I probably will want to do like a full playthrough of like Diablo again. But I want to do it with the expansion, obviously. Grab that waypoint. I think Act 1 is, I want to say, the longest act. Act 1 and 5 are probably the longest acts in Diablo.
There is no reason you should hunt alone.
I often prefer to be alone. But
When is multi-shot? Good question. 22. So we're halfway there. Yeah, I think I'd rather just use Impale because this is like over the course of like a second or something, and the Impale just is instant, if that makes sense. Enlightened Shrine. So to min-max on Enlightened Shrines, what we'll do is we'll get them like kind of weak. And then we'll activate it. About to come up with that 15 seasonal buff though, which will freeze them all. 13, 14, and 15. Which one's lowest? Oh, there we go. Oh, the exploding chickens help out so much. Yeah, the seasonal buff is just great. And I'm glad that they still at least added it in. It's such a cool seasonal buff. I hope they make it permanent. Like in Path of Exile, when there are like seasonal buffs that everyone, or not seasonal buffs, are like new mechanics to a season. Rip John Door. Okay. New bracers. That's a lot of... Do you want the Templar? Heck yeah, dude. Give me that Templar. Give me that extra heals. And I don't think I have anything to give him yet. Oh, there's a Goblin, but I kind of want to drag the enemies over. Oh yeah, we were going to also swap back to Impale because it was way better. So in vanilla Diablo, a lot of times you would actually try to fight a lot of things off screen because you would just get one-shotted by everything. It's just kind of how it worked. So you would do this. Demon Hunter was like one of the few classes that people could play because you would just basically spam smokescreen all the time. And if we can get that seasonal buff too, with the little exploding chickens, oh, because we're so close. 14. We're literally 1 away. That's so unlucky. There's nothing. There's nothing. Oh no, we're 2 away. Alright, treasure gun. Give me another legendary. Well, at least we got a bow, and we got a ring. A lucky ring. What does it do? 8% extra gold. But anyways, yeah, going back to what I was saying about the followers, I wish they expanded upon it. And I think what would be really good, because they obviously want to make it, like, casual friendly, right? I think maybe once you hit level 70... they should get a full inventory. That would be really cool. And then what would be cool too is if you could like throw a set on them. Like, and you could get one class. That'd be really cool. Like you can... I hope in Diablo 4 they also do this. Like I think the followers are really, really cool addition to the game. I mean, Diablo 2 it just really came down to the Act 2 mercenary, right? But I think it'd be cool. Like, you could have, like, the Mystic could be someone that can... you can select, like, a caster out of them, right? Like, you could convert them to a Necromancer, convert them to a Wizard, or a Witch Doctor. And then they'd have, like, another set. And that way... even from a single player perspective, you'd have that like feel of multiplayer, right? But I already know that Diablo 4, they don't want to do an offline mode. They want that DRM, so you can't play the game offline, which is kind of disappointing. I actually really like Chakram because it goes through everything, if I remember correct, even at level 1. It's great. And at 13 we get Blood Vengeance. That's really nice. And that will breeze through content a lot faster. I love Chakram just for like this, just being able to be like, alright, oh gosh, this thing is so good, man. I think you can use this with Chakram as well, but it doesn't matter because it's gonna lower our DPS. There's that environmental kill. But, yeah, I think they could do a better job of it. Or maybe they'll just remove it. I mean, I honestly didn't think it was, like, super, super cool. It was cool when they showed it off. But in terms of, like, actual gameplay, it didn't matter at all. This thing just melts. You can line them all up and hit them all of them at once. Try to keep the seasonal buff going here, but I also want to go ahead and grab that because the drops don't happen. Oops. I tried to. I think we're almost an hour in. We're only at the Skeleton King. That's insane. There's the Skeleton King. I guess you can't just vault through it. I think with the fire rune, you are able to. Does Diablo have loot boxes? Oh, no. I honestly wouldn't mind if they had some type of cosmetic one so they can make money to create more content. I feel like Diablo 3 sold so well. Why don't they add more expansion packs? Apparently, there was another expansion pack planned. I believe it was called King of the North. But it just never... like the Rooms of Seshron, some of the content they actually just added into the game, which is really nice that they did for free, right? But at the same time, I want like an expansion pack. I wouldn't even mind paying for it. I just don't know why they decided to scrap it. I'm guessing those people probably got shuffled over and moved to work on other projects. Maybe Overwatch or Here's the Storm. Because Diablo, the way it was designed was not made to make money after your purchase, right? I'm totally fine. Like, as far as like games as a service goes, nowadays that's every game needs to have battle pass. But like, I like expansion packs. I think it's great because when you pay for something, it's usually like a pretty sizable thing. I know it gates some players, but like, you know, your friend doesn't have the expansion pack, you can't play. Alright, let's see if we get a legendary off the Skeleton King. I remember in the Diablo demo, you got to play up until this, I believe. I like how you can get his scepter too. But I think that's a bounty only item, so that's the item that would not exist in the game. Or it shouldn't exist. Unless they just added it to the loot table, which I honestly don't know. There's a lot of things in Diablo Vanilla or Diablo Classic that are just unknown. Because I tried to look it up. I couldn't find any info on it because, well, I don't think any content creators is like, yeah, let's go play Diablo Classic or Vanilla in 2020 or even 2019. Like, but I'm actually really enjoying this experience. I'm glad I decided to go ahead and purchase it. It was, like I said, it was on sale for $10. Diablo goes on sale all the time with the expansion pack. But I don't want the expansion pack. I want to play that vanilla. I mean, surprisingly, like, you know, WoW Classic is super, super popular. He's frozen from that seasonal buff, man. You're going nowhere. He's almost gone. 700. Oh, we got another legendary. Is it the helm again, though? It is the Skeleton King helm. But this one rolled so well. But the real question is, are we going to be replacing it? Probably because the stats are going to just be overall better just by a little bit. But I can't give that to the Templar. We got some more bracers. This is a two-hander, so it's going to be lower on damage. That's unfortunate. Oh. This increases damage, though. Okay. Well, actually, what are we at? 48, and then what does this increase it to? 45. This is still going to be better. Because the amount of damage that we're getting increases is so... Well, it says it's 8%. Maybe it's actually worth it. That's 45 lightning. The thing is that I'm looking at the attack speed, and when we rotate in between things, it feels better to have like faster attack speed. But I'm gonna throw this on. I just like my character to attack fast because it just feels better to play, you know? Like, if I attack at half the speed, but do a little bit less DPS, for me, it's worth it for the game to feel better. Oh, we got a helm, but it's not going to be better than what we have. In fact, well, can you salvage all? Is that a thing? I think you have to level up the blacksmith. I have to like salvage individually. I don't think anything's gonna be a buff. Like toughness, we don't really care about. Whoops, maybe this though. Okay, it's not. It doesn't have to have that confirm. Let's go ahead and see if we can go ahead and get something.
Tell me everything you remember, stranger.
Because I think these regularly swap, right? Oh, that one's pretty nice. It's 4,000. Gives us some extra stats. But I want to go ahead and check to double see on this fencer specifically. because this guy can have a ring that gives you like 1 to 2 damage, and that's actually like huge. Oh, here we go. Attack speed by 2%. Ooh, nothing here, unfortunately. And since we're going to go ahead and go back to the Fields of Misery again, how much gold do we have? 19,000. These were like 4K to get the whatever that item was. I think it was 7% extra damage. That's actually quite a bit. So what we're going to do is I'm going to, because we're going to go back over there, and it doesn't actually matter too much in terms of being able to be more efficient. The reason why I'm leaving the game and rejoining the game is to reset the NPCs. So in Diablo 2, there were certain items that you could look for on vendors. It'd be like plus to a certain skill. A lot of times it came down to like a barbarian would want these javelins, not javelins, polearm. They're like one-handed, like spear-looking things, and basically they would increase your skill. I'm gonna actually do this. It's 100% worth doing this, by the way. This will increase our DPS quite a bit by just going ahead and just grabbing the rings that have like 1 to 2 or 2 to 4 damage, because our damage is what like 23. On this, but it does 8 to 25 damage, and getting that extra like damage, like I said, it's 100% worth it. We'll do it like maybe 2 more times after this. Like I said, it's completely random if you're going to be able to get it or not. But let's see, if we get this for 2K, we can definitely just buy these just in case we still have gotten an upgrade. Oops, they're going to go ahead and swap this off of the other ring here, and we still got extra damage. I'll do it just one more time now at this point, because I got the ones that had dex on it, so that's going to increase our damage. In Diablo 2, main stat for characters, like it was either strength or dex. There wasn't intelligence, but for the most part, it was just basically used to equip your items. There was something called attack rating, but for the most part, it was just to be able to use your gear. None? Okay. Well, like I said, at least we happen to get the ones with dex. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and go to the Fields of Misery, continue on our little playthrough. Dang, we're almost at an hour? So, almost at an hour. I don't know, this one could have been RNG. The Skeleton King should be dropping that every single time now anyways, even though we don't have a gem, which hopefully we'll get soon. Was there a skeleton popping out? But I don't know if Vanilla has actually also applied the, if you don't get a legendary. Ooh, this is actually 100% worth running. Nice. Fields of Misery is actually a pretty nice spot as well, because the density is just usually pretty good. There's just a lot of enemies. So we'll go ahead and gather up a bunch of them and complete the Karsaden. Trying to think of what's the next like boss coming up. I think there's maybe that Garbad. That would be like cool to end off the video, because I want to keep this like at about an hour-ish. I was thinking like about an hour per act, right? Act 1 is like specifically a little bit longer. But like when I was doing my playthrough on the Nintendo Switch, it felt like it was a lot faster as well. And I also did that on hard. So I don't know. There might be something. I'm gonna double check on it. It felt like it was a lot faster. I don't know if there's anything in the Lost Mine. Maybe 3 to eliminate a pack. These guys used to hit super hard. If one of them hit you, like now, I think even in hard, it won't one shot you. But the whole game has gotten so much easier. And that's I want to say due to trying to make the game more accessible to the casual audience.
this key.
Oh, we should check out our Templar buddy. Go ahead and throw that gold fine on him. I think you get this. You get something applied of it, but it's at like a reduced amount. Let me see. What's the gold fine? 98%. If we take this off, 96. So we get like what 2%. We got some new gloves, maybe. Uruk the Seer. Eliminate this elite guy. Crossbow. More damage? Nope.
Who are you to take what is mine? You are God to help very well.
Okay. I'm actually curious when we get Sentry as well. See, I don't know. I still come back time to time playing like other action RPGs, and I honestly feel like the earlier stages of the game is a lot more fun than like the later stages of the game. And usually it's the other way around with like MMOs and stuff. Like people want to rush through it so they can get to the end game. Do we get sword piece? Okay. We got a Fan of Knives.
I have the sword piece.
I have no memory.
Okay, and then we got a belt. Oh, that was actually a pretty nice little upgrade right there. But like none of the quest items are like end game viable.
The Nephilim were ancient humans with fantastic powers. Legend holds that they waged a terrible battle in the
So we get steady aim is at 16, which I might think about taking as well.
You and I aren't so different. I have great power.
Frenzy Trend, nice.
The only difference is I have no control over mine.
That sounds troubling.
It's only happened a few times in my life, and only when I was in grave danger.
Okay, come up to the Scoundrel.
Rises up from deep within.
I really think Act 1 is really good.
They're going to kill my friend. Thieves are going to kill.
What do they want with your friend?
She's just a farmer's daughter, Sasha. She has a relic that the thieves are after. Where is the relic?
I'm sworn to secrecy.
Release the girl.
I think I actually have like the voice dialogue a little bit lower. I can actually bump it up a little bit. Where's dialogue? The reason why is I just wanted like the Templar voice to go away like in town. Because like sometimes I'm recording videos and like I sit in town for a while to explain like a build or something. And the Templar will just start talking. I'm just like, no. Sometimes I'll just dismiss him for that, but...
This isn't over. The rest of the Thieves Guild will find you.
I wonder if that is part of the guild that's in the Diablo 4 cinematic. Because there's definitely thieves.
I hit it like you asked.
Of course, my dear.
You wish to join me?
Yes, yes. You look like you know a lot about markets. Now, lead the way.
Would you like the
Wait. Relic is a
Scoundrel?
fake.
How come we can have both for a
Gods,
little
I
bit?
should have known. You seem like you could use a helping hand, and I sure as hell don't want to stay around here.
Please
Hey.
tell me that you're not considering this criminal's proposal.
I see. Now, I'm not sure if I actually have to talk to him for like the next part of the quest
You
to
made a
progress.
promise to your betrothed.
Betrothed? Do I look like the marrying kind to you? By the way, my name is Lyndon.
Okay.
Oh, I've been waiting for this.
With the Tom Sayer
go ahead and just equip him.
This temple is not encouraging.
This will be fun.
Do I have a two-handed crossbow?
I'll take that.
What's the one that he had? 12? I don't think... Can you give him a bow? You can. Alright, nice. Right.
You must be Alaric the Guardian.
Are you Nephilim?
No, there have been no...
Follow me. I will raise the bridge that you may pass.
So we have to get like 2 of these parts.
Two tombs in the woods beyond.
And then there's like a boss fight. And I think that would be good like closure to our little Diablo vanilla playthrough here. I'm guessing 4 hours for all the acts.
Must we slog through them?
Then it just gives me something to do while I'm waiting for Diablo 4 to come out. So you have to get 2 of these beacons. Because in Diablo 2, if you wanted to farm, like, there was no, like, adventure mode. You basically just played the game.
This is amazing.
And there's a lot of areas that are pretty viable for farming. Like the Lower Cross, Chaos Runs, Bale. But in Diablo 3, it's just greater rifts. You have rifts and then you have greater rifts, which the gameplay is pretty much the exact same. And well, I kind of like this because it's refreshing. Because since we're getting towards the end of the season, a lot of people just stop playing. That's natural. Like when the new season, everyone plays the first 2 days and you max out, and then that's it. For me though, I try to max out all the characters or all the classes to test out. You know what's. I wonder if we can get hit by that. We were totally fine. Ring of Focus, which is what you do. Int. Intelligence does not help us, unfortunately. But yeah, anyways, going back to what I was saying. So, like, the warrior would be cool to turn him into a... Like, it would be like a full-on crusader. Which would be cool, because then you would have, like, a secondary person to gear up. I think that would be a really cool addition. Because there is a set called ADRIA'S, and it actually gives you all of the followers, but for a brief amount of time.
Exploring places like this with Uncle Deckard. This brings back memories.
If you're able to keep them up like the whole time, I still don't think people would run it. It's just, it's too much of an investment in the set parts. And this does 19. Still not as strong. Should be somewhere over here or way far off to the right side. Alright, so it is right here. It's been so long since I've played this, but there's a lot of things that I'll probably just remember.
LEORIC'S says that our people can survive the coming battle. I saw the truth in his eyes. Why did he order me to guard the beacon of honor? Those shambling things are slaughtering my people in the forest above, and there's nothing I can do to stop it.
Alright. And got him.
I have more control now.
Darkness!
I got that grenade. Nice. Now I can stop running bows and crossbows if I wanted to.
I used to love traveling, seeing the world. But now it has fallen into shadow. Yes, it's not like it was.
100% chance to sound out like that. Like what's funny is most of these people don't even want to get on their follower because it like you don't want any stun or something like that. Anyways, Pool of Reflection is still in here. That's pretty cool. I want to say that was not in vanilla Diablo, so I guess that went through. And now that we've gotten those 2 beacons, we're gonna go and activate them. There'll be like an engagement, like kind of like a I want to say there's like 3 or 4 different elites in there, so I guess it would be a good little closure here to our playthrough. But I honestly enjoy this more than just watching. Like, there's so many of these unused, like, art, like, tile sets. Like, this little, like, you know, the river. I think they could really benefit from more variety versus, like, the rifts that they have, like, there's only so many. But I feel like they could definitely make use out of some of these other art assets that they've made, right? You know, I really hope that they do. Like, Diablo 3 is an older game. I hope they allow mod support because I feel like they can make this game like if any of you guys have seen Median XL, what they've done to Diablo 2, they made that thing absolutely amazing. And having the game offline would allow people to make some private servers, and I guarantee you, it would make people really hyped up for the next Diablo game.
Rise, my brothers. Rise and do that.
But I think maybe they're afraid people will just like pirate the game more, but it would just be such a great addition to Diablo. I said there's 2 elites over here, 3 elites. So we should be coming up to another legendary relatively soon. I'm not sure if you get a legendary off the Skeleton King, if that counts as one of your legendaries for like every like hour, half hour, whatever the interval is.
Your strength rivals that of our greatest champions. What now do you think you are? You may enter our most sacred place.
The noble hero fought over.
I know, I was supposed to skip all of them. I don't know, it's just very nostalgic to go back. This is making me want to do like a full Diablo playthrough. You know, we'll definitely do that. Maybe I should have used this as like the purpose for it, because...
Did you mean my mother will share my fate? Could my mother be alive after all these years?
She's trying to distract you. Don't listen to her.
This fight was too easy. She's toying with us.
The world
That's a little icon too.
changed. Our children are born
1%.
weak and suffer short lives. The demon Nereza promised to restore their power, but instead turned them into misshapen creatures and sent them to war against us.
Magda is close on our heels.
I remember.
Dang. I kind of want to do Tristram too. So we'll close out with Tristram, because I originally was like, okay, about an hour per. So yes, there is a guaranteed legendary, at least in Reaper of Souls. When they did the Loot 2.0, I believe was the addition to it.
I will take you, but beware. Smoke rises from the village.
They're destroying the town. Get out while you can. Death to those who defy.
Oh, yeah, this attack's so much slower, but it hits a lot harder, so.
Please, my family's
Long shot. Oh, getting those achievements. What is it? Oh, 45 yards away. Okay.
Don't run off. You'll get yourself killed.
Should be like some type of boss or elite here, right?
Fools! You cannot keep the sword from me.
This is bad.
My servants will burn this.
Oh, there's
town
another
to ashes.
Urzel? I don't think that has anything to do with the Urzel, right? I think it's spelled differently. But that'd be cool if that's actually like. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Urzel, but I want to check that out.
I hear something
You
coming.
get quiver? Ooh, nice! Now we get that 10% attack speed, which will make things so much better. Oh, the triple elites.
I've become more formidable.
Ooh, 16 now.
The people in the
Nice.
chapel
We'll also
need
get
my
steady
help.
aim,
I'm
which
going
is
on ahead.
great. I like this. We're progressing nicely. Twin. Oh, we get that at 18. That's so soon.
The hilt of an ancient sword fell.
We found it. Come.
I'm going back to Tristram to check on Uncle Decker.
Something isn't right here.
Does it give me attack speed? Oh, like
Damn, it's not here.
While you were on your hero's errand here, I kept.
I should have known.
everyone's least favorite part of Diablo 3.
It's your choice, Cain. Either use your heraldric arts to repair the sword, or your dear Leah dies a horrible death.
Oh, this pain, this destruction. What is the sword to you?
To me, nothing. To my master, Belial, everything.
This cutscene I kind of want to watch because it's kind of cool.
Your rage is overwhelming, girl. You win this round, but if the sword cannot be mine, I'll claim the one it's bound to. In the end, the blade shall be mine.
Uncle, you can't die.
Nothing can stop that now. But there is one last thing I must do. The sword must be made whole. Just as I suspected, the sword is of the high heavens. The stranger is an angel. Heed the journal. The truth lies within.
Uncle Deckard!
Rip, press F for Mr. Kane. And that's where we're going to go ahead and end off our Diablo Vanilla or Classic playthrough in 2020. And like I said, I'm actually really curious to see what happens in the end game. I'm sure a lot of you guys are as well. So if you are new here and you want to go ahead and watch us do the entire playthrough and check out what happens once we're at level 60, like what is the end game? There is no rifts. There's no greater rifts. There's no challenge rifts. There's nothing. What do you do? We'll find out in a couple hours. Well, when we end up playing through again, because I'm probably going to be done for tonight. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if you did, drop a like on it. And if you are new here and you do want to go and check out the rest of our playthrough, as well as find out what happens at 60, because I honestly don't even know what to do after we hit 60, and where do we go to farm? Well, we'll check it out. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one, and we're out. Peace.